NVIDIA, Microsoft, those are at record highs. NVIDIA is actually at 42% since April. And our next guest says the tech trade will keep working. Tim Seymour is the CIO of Seymour Asset Management and a CNBC contributor. Tim, we've heard, I can't forget Larry's term exactly, but he said, be fearful about these levels or something to that extent. But it sounds like you see this a little bit differently.
Well, it's hard to be confident about economic certainty here. And so all economic skepticism, concern, there's a big July 9th date. There's a lot of uncertainty geopolitically. So all of this is a reason for bears to have the positioning they do. And that's part of this pain trade. I think the hedge fund community has overthought this one. I think that the leadership from the market is undisputed. And if you look at that move in semis, off that April 4th, actually intraday low for the semis, it's over 65% as the group, but it's outperformed the S&P by 27%. And you're starting to get the leadership back at the same time. I think what banks are doing, what industrials are doing, tell you the story of a market that is looking past economic uncertainty. It doesn't mean that that's not a reality for the second half of the year, potentially. But right now, both in terms of the seasonal dynamics, a weaker dollar, a plunge in oil leaves the VIX at 16.5, and a lot of people that are not long this market where they want to be.
Yeah, so the question, too, is, OK, the tech resurgence has been, one for the record books. And has it run its course? The debate in the depths of the sell-off was there going to be new leadership? A lot of people thought yes. The answer was no.
Well, you've got, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Always great to quote The Who here. But I do think you have a dynamic where it's really a combination of dynamics. And it's interesting to see that this is, you really haven't heard any of the hyperscalers push back on their commitment to AI and AI infrastructure. Meanwhile, you've had both the White House and you've had the leading chip companies in the world go on their sovereign AI tour. And I think the sovereigns have really trailed the private sector and means there's a lot more behind it. What you're seeing, you noted, the move in ARM, the move in AI infrastructure, and then even moves in companies like Oracle. And the fact that Oracle's even held on to some of these gains tells you where I think the market is. And AMD, the broadening of the chip trade. So it doesn't mean that there isn't some FOMO in here. It doesn't mean that multiples are challenged. But I look at NVIDIA, and that leadership looks great to me, and that's a multiple that I'm comfortable with. At the same time, look at what banks are doing. Look at what industrials have led much of this rally all year at a time when the dollar's weaker, which I think supports multinationals, and I think it's obviously good for the industrial metal trade, the precious metal trade, and some of those related trades.